Soul Source is a podcast made by women for women. We are looking at the topics that are influencing women in the world they live in today and shedding light on those topics. We're speaking to the national newsmakers and bringing you the stories that you're only going to hear here. Don't miss out on being in the know. Subscribe to Soul Source wherever you listen to podcasts today and leave us a review. This part's really important because that way we can continue to bring you the content that you love each and every week. So buckle up, Soul Source Society, because we're about to get started.
So it's helping people bring that confidence out of them. It doesn't matter if you've got plus size or you're skinny or you have curly hair or you have red hair. Like, everybody's unique and individual.
Hello, I am Raquel Amel, your host here on Soul Source. Being a woman, it's hard. I mean, we face constant scrutiny for so many things every single day. For example, hormones rule our life. Whether it's periods, pregnancy, or menopause, the struggle is real. It's completely normal and understandable, yet people will give us a hard time because we're not happy-go-lucky all the time, or we feel like eating a tub of ice cream one night. Or when you're a young girl or you're a teenager, you're not the popular girl, or you get overlooked. I mean, that can be hard to deal with. Well, one social media vlogger has gained international fame by addressing these issues, and his message is empowering women and girls across the globe by not being afraid to talk about these topics while adding a touch of humor to his videos as well. Well, if you're on Instagram or Facebook, chances are pretty good that you have met my guest today. He's a popular Scottish vlogger. He has millions of followers on social media, and he's most known for those shirtless videos and sassy snaps he does, which we're going to definitely be talking about a little later today. I am so excited to welcome the one and only Daniel Euan Henderson to Soul Source today. He's joining us all the way from Scotland via Zoom. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you doing? I'm glad to be here.
Hey, I am excited. I'm excited to have you here. This is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, if you got any of the excitement you have in those videos you do, we're going to have a good time today.
Yeah, I'm not shirtless in this one though.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. How are you doing? How's life in Scotland? I mean, especially right now, we have a pandemic going on. I know in the United States, we're still wearing masks everywhere. Vaccines have just started rolling out. How do things look in Scotland?
So things are quite, as we call, dreary. They're dreary, dark and miserable. However, I'm trying my best to not let that affect me. And I've just been, I would say that I'm struggling like everybody. Can't deny that a lot of us are struggling with things, especially with the dark winter months as well. In Scotland, where it's getting dark at 2 p.m, 3 p.m, and, it's not very nice. However, I'm not letting that be, because you can either be a part of that negativity and just immerse yourself with that, or you can fight it, and I've chose to fight it. So I've actually cut out a lot of bad habits and I've replaced them with good things.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations. And you'll have to share some secrets on how you're doing that, because it's the middle of winter here. I'm in Wisconsin. That's where we record Soul Source, and it is cold. It's like 0 degrees below zero at night here right now, and there's snow and cold, and so we have a lot of those same things going on.
Yeah, and do you find it, are you coping okay as well? I know you ask about me, but how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm the whole being on lockdown for a year has been it gets long. It's definitely been long, but it's good. And then, as some of our fans know, I'm also pregnant during this process. So I'm about 7.5 months pregnant. Yeah, thank you. So I've been doing that kind of in a bubble with all the stuff going on with the pandemic. So it's a lot, but it's good.
Yeah, I'm very happy for you. Are you excited? Is this your first or?
This is my first. Yeah, it's going to be a little boy.
Wow. A little boy. Do you have names in mind?
Yeah. Yep. We have a name. I'm not going to reveal it just yet, but,
when you
we do have a name.
I'll be there waiting for the reveal.
Awesome. Well, so it's definitely a unique time here across the globe, as we're talking about. So thank God for Zoom. We're able to do interviews like this. Are you using a lot of video technology? I mean, has this pandemic kind of changed the way that you're doing your work with the videos?
Yeah, I've just been immersing myself in as much information as I can. I've become a bit weird and eccentric more, I think. That's what happens when you don't have as many friends nearby. You're just in your own little bubble, and you just want to try new things. And yeah, I'm enjoying the things that are. I'm letting life flow. Put it that way.
Okay. So let's talk about these videos that you're making. People have seen them. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, I think. You're all over the place. So how did you get started making these, especially for social media?
I started making the videos years ago, and I'll tell you, to be honest, they were just so silly. They were very silly at the start. I think it was around about the time when there was a challenge. What was it called? The
Ice
Harlem
bucket?
Shake. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the Harlem
Okay.
Shake. I remember I did a kind of Harlem Shake type video, and that feeling of people in another part of the world seeing it, and they liked it and commented. It kind of made me feel happy. So I got that kind of dopamine from that. And I was only younger at the time, so I was making silly, similar videos like that. And then I made one video saying your imperfections are your perfections, because I think I was going through something at that point. I was feeling a little bit down, and I thought, you know what, I'm a nice person, and people hadn't been accepting me for who I was in my immediate environment. And I thought, you know what, because I'm weird in different ways, that's my perfections. That these are the things that make me who I am. So people picked up on that, and then I started making, a few more of those type of videos rather than the really silly videos. And one thing led to another, and now I'm here doing all different topics that I'd never even thought I would immerse myself in. And it's been an amazing journey.
That's kind of unique how exposing a vulnerability almost on your end kind of helped these videos take off and really resonated with people. Did you ever expect that to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I just, when you're young, I think I was watching a lot of things online. So I was consuming a lot of content, and it made me feel good. And I thought, instead of being a consumer of content, why don't I actually be the difference itself, because make content that would help me, and maybe someone in another country might be able to watch that and be like, wow, this has helped me. I'm able to go on and see that my life is worth living, rather than just sitting and in your own misery all the time, which at times I had been.
Have you heard that from people? I mean, I see the comments because I follow you also on social media. So I see the comments from people, but do you hear people saying like you've kind of changed their life or saved their life or anything like that?
I think that's what made me want to do more. I think when you see those people commented things like that, you actually realize it's worth doing it. And when I'm feeling down and I don't know why I'm doing this, sometimes people say, why don't you get a real job? Why don't you do something real with your life? And then I see those comments. I see that I'm doing something that's really worthwhile for a lot of people. Even if it's just one person, it's a meaningful job in itself. So that's the fuel for me. That's what keeps me going.
That set me up perfectly for my next question here, Daniel, because I was going to ask you if these videos are a full time job for you or if you do them in tandem with something else.
Okay, so for most of my working career, I was a bartender. I was shaking up cocktails and doing mixology and helping everybody get drunk, and also at that point getting drunk myself. And it was fun. I've always liked to entertain people. I studied acting and media before that, and during that, and yeah, I just, at the point I was doing the videos as a hobby. It was just a hobby, and from as the years went on, I started to work over to YouTube and worked on social media. And before I knew it, I was a bit of a social media marketing expert, and I didn't know why. And then I was able to, I think it happened when I helped somebody else that was also wanting to make videos. I just told them, this is a really good thing, and stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about others. And so I actually help teach people how to grow their video content themselves as well. So that's what I do on the side, but that's just more of a secret thing that I do.
Oh, that's awesome. So I have to ask, I mean, a lot of your videos are tailored toward women and girls, women, teen girls, girls in general. You cover a lot of issues that women deal with. Why? I mean, you're a guy. What made you create videos for women?
So I actually did initially start making the videos to help myself, like I said, and help people like myself. So guys, girls, it doesn't matter the gender. It was for everyone, and it just resonated more with women. And the people in America that liked it most were women, and so it was like it became a collaborative, you know, outlet for all these people that said, hey, can you do a video for the girls with curly hair? Can you do a video for the redhead girls? And guys weren't asking the questions. And so I went with my audience. I'll sometimes make some videos for guys, but the women were the ones that loved the videos. And so thankfully it was, because, you know, I've learned so much more about women from immersing myself in all these different pieces of information, talking to people, asking what's going on. And yeah, it's been quite fun, actually.
So how do you come up with these topics then? Is it people writing into you, or is it you just come up with them? How does that work?
Sometimes it's like a brainwave. I don't know. Sometimes maybe I've been, I'm just in a good place, and I have, you know, or in a bath. Showers and baths sometimes are the place where you get all these little nuggets of inspiration. But for the most part, it's usually when you see a comment and someone says, hey, I've been going through this issue. Can you please maybe talk about that? And so I'll research the information, and or sometimes I've been through things myself, and I'll be able to share that on. I mean, girls and guys, although we have our differences, and not just male and female, all gender, all people of all backgrounds, we all have our differences, but we all have our similarities as well, because we are all human. Mm-hmm. And we all do have, we all have insecurities. I think guys like myself, I didn't speak about it maybe as much, and I would like to do more for guys like that. But yeah, I've been through a lot of these things that girls have been through as well. I've been body shamed. I've been told that I was not man enough because I was too skinny. I had acne when I was going through school. I had all these things that people would say are imperfections, and you know, it was always my soul and the inner confidence that was bursting to come out. That was the thing that I just wish people could have seen at the time. And then now I look like I'm confident, but for a lot of the time I wasn't confident. So it's helping people bring that confidence out of them. It doesn't matter if you've got plus size, or you're skinny, or you have curly hair, or you have red hair. Like, everybody's unique and individual. And that's the beautiful thing about us all. If we were all the same, someone said, then we would all be boring.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where it all stemmed from, and that's where I want to take it in the future. And yeah.
Awesome. So what sort of feedback? I mean, we talked a little bit, but what do you hear from the women around the world with these video topics you're doing?
It ranges from marriage proposals to, you know, you've helped me through a really rough time. There's people that have managed to find confidence to then do live streaming and content creating, making videos themselves. And a lot of people found their passions and their hobbies by realizing that, you know, it doesn't matter what people are saying about you. You still can go climb a mountain. You can still do all these things that are actually living, because we forget to live sometimes because we're too busy caring what people think about us. And yeah, just things like that, you know.
Those are really inspiring comments to hear back.
I get the uninspiring comments as well. I get the, you know, the dodgy ones, as we like to say. Yeah. You know, you get the weird ones sometimes.
There's all sorts out there. So, you know, being that you're talking about these women's topics, I'm curious, did you grow up? Did you have sisters? What is the female influence that got you on these topics?
So I didn't have a sister or anything like that. I have a mum who's been very supportive, and my mum has went through her own battles, and I've seen her go through these things, and they were different from, she'd had to grow up in a house full of men. So yeah. I sympathize and empathize with her now. Maybe didn't realize that until like last year. No, I'm joking. But yeah, just my mum has always, you know, told me little things here and there, little bits of information that could maybe help me to understand the topics more. If my mum has watched one of these videos, she'll say, "Oh, but don't mention this as well." So my mum's always taught me, but my dad has been the driving force in the respect aspect of treating women with respect. And I wouldn't even want to know what my dad would have done if I'd ever disrespected my mum. He was just such a manly, you know, the most generous man I've ever met. and he always taught me to, you're not a man if you don't respect your mum. You're not a man if you don't respect women. And so I learned that from my dad, believe it or not. So yeah, it's good to, my mum has been a great influence, but my dad has been a big part of my respect for women.
He sounds like an awesome role model, Daniel.
Yeah, he's super dad. Super
Aw.
mom as well. Super mom and super dad.
So, I mean, you talk about that. So let's go down that road a little bit, because that's interesting. You know, your dad was your role model on how to treat women. Now you're doing these videos about women. Do you kind of, like, what do you hear from the guys? Do guys ever write in, and do you kind of feel like maybe you're kind of being a role model for them in a way a little bit with these?
A lot of guys, they get annoyed because their partner has said, "This guy's amazing, watch him." And so it's
Jealousy.
I can understand why the guys. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. If my wife or girlfriend had said that to me, I would probably be like, "Oh, I don't want to watch this guy." But to be honest, there's some guys have actually came to meet and greets, and they've been with their partners, and they've been bigger fans than their partner. I actually stayed with a family in Canada, and it was a couple that had watched my videos. We became very good friends, and they offered to let me come and stay with them and see Canadian life for a while. And it was the dad that was actually the bigger fan out of the two of them. So he liked watching my videos, and yeah, just it's people that want to actually grow with love and grow as a partnership, rather than just seeing each other as, you know, a person of the opposite sex that they want to be with. It's a partnership, and I'm still learning a lot. I made mistakes a lot when I was younger. I've matured a lot in the last couple of years, but I think men are more listening to me now rather than when I was a 21, 22-year-old guy, because, I was still very young and immature, and you could tell through the way I spoke and things like that. And I also was shirtless a lot of the time, like you said, but I no longer do that, actually, believe it or not. I'm more clothed now. I chose to be.
What made you make the switch? Just growing up?
Professionalism. I think I wanted to, yeah, it was cool to get the views and things, and it's good to have that hook. It's like a hook to grab people's attention so that you can then talk about the issues that, and that was effective. But I think it's better now because I already have the audience, that I just do the videos that I've done and make them even more professional and just a little bit more serious as well. Also fun, keep them funny, but yeah, nobody needs to see my nipples all the time, you know?
Yeah, I get that. And then, like you said, you're going more professional now, and you've got the audience base. So totally makes sense. The topics in a lot of your videos, you talk about perceptions. I feel like a lot of times it's perceptions that guys have of girls. I mean, you have like a video of like women need to shave more, and guys talking about how we have hair everywhere, or periods aren't that bad. These are literally the names of some of the videos that you've created. And many times these videos, they call out guys for having these certain perceptions on women, and they're kind of unrealistic, and you kind of call that to the forefront. What is your perception of women? Do you think the world makes things harder for us a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I sometimes, if I was a girl, the type of girl that I would be the type of person that if a guy said, "You need to shave those armpits," I'd be walking around like this all day. Like that, I'd have
Yep.
sore arms from showing off that beautiful, luscious armpit hair that I just rebelled against, I feel like if it's okay, because guys get told, "Oh, you need to do this and you need to do that" by a girl, and what do? They say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not listening to
Right.
you. But when a girl does that, then she gets called. She gets I don't know if language or whatever I'm allowed to say this, but they get slut shamed, or they get told
Yep.
that they're weak, or they get the implication, as we call it from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the implication that the guy is physically stronger, so they better watch what they say, or else something bad could happen. But they don't actually often say that in words. They just subtly hint that sometimes, and these are the kind of some of the horrible ways that men can manipulate women, is by giving them little subtle hints of fear and showing that they, if they were to get into a situation like that with them, then they're actually in danger. So they better not slip up. And I don't like that. I hate that. I think that that's horrible. That men can actually put women through these things, and women feel sometimes helpless, and maybe from a lack of confidence, or they don't have a good friend group or support network, they're forced into a place of isolation and loneliness, and they can feel more lonely in a relationship than they could if they were to be single, but they can't get out. And so I want to teach ladies that they can get out of these things. And yeah.
That's really deep, but that is awesome, Daniel. That's really cool that you're focusing on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to do it for guys as well, because men get into these horrible situations as well sometimes. And it's always the thing that's the sad part is it's always the people that are really nice and really kind, and they're empaths, they care for other people, and they just so happen to get the unlucky straw where they get landed with someone who's so self-centered and arrogant, and they just feel like they're pleasing this person, and they're getting nothing back but abuse. And so I'd eventually like to, go and maybe start a charity or something like that for people who've been through these situations, and help them become free from it, because sometimes even a police phone call isn't enough for these ladies, and don't get heard. So yeah.
So is that kind of what's next on the docket for you? Is that where you're headed?
I'm headed towards that, and I also have a big, if you've seen, I do a lot of things about female luxury items. It's something I feel strongly about, that women shouldn't need to pay for these things. And I think Scotland is actually, there was a news article the other day about women actually going through their period and things like that. They can actually have free sanitary products. I think that there was something said it, but
that's awesome.
I might do some sort of charity. Maybe it's a crowdfunding or something where everybody can just chip in, and we can take these sanitary products to countries where, there's countries where they don't even have access to these kind of things. So I'd like to do that and help women around the world, not just in the Western countries, but in places like Philippines or Africa and things like that.
Oh, that's exciting. And women will love that. That is fantastic.
Yeah, but the main thing is that these women that don't have the access to that love that.
Yeah.
It's not about
absolutely
pleasing women. It's just about just making a difference in the world and helping as many people as possible. That's the goal. Some people do it with food. I think I could do it with sanitary products. It's something that a lot of people need, and we don't even talk about.
I know, it's like taboo in some places, so that's why it'll really, really help for sure. So I know you've been to the U.S. before, and we're in a pandemic right now, so I'm sure you're probably not doing a lot of traveling, right?
No, sadly, it's actually killing me, because I'm a bit of an addiction to it. I'm like, I'm looking at, yeah.
Get out, yeah. So are you planning on coming back to the U.S. anytime soon?
Of course, I'd love to actually live there one day and have a place there. At least have a house there. That would be cool. I'd love to just be able to. I just love the atmosphere, and also that's my audience. Most of the audience I have is from America, so I'm very thankful for American people and for their
hospitality. Yeah.
I was going to try and say it for being so hospitable, but they're for their hospitality.
Well, you should come to Wisconsin if you're going to put a house here. Just not do it in like a summer house, not a winter house, because it's so darn cold here.
I would like to go to Wisconsin, actually. What's the capital of Wisconsin again?
Madison,
Wisconsin. Yeah. I think I watched some there's ice hockey place, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, hockey. What's your team?
Well, so I'm closer to Green Bay, so I watch the Green Bay Gamblers here. But
cool. I'd love to go to an ice hockey game. It's something I need to tick off on my list, so I might do it in Wisconsin.
Oh, that'd be fun. Those are fun to watch for sure. So one other thing I want to ask you about, and this is like a signature in your videos, is those sassy snaps that you do. I can't do them right, but can you give us one here at the end of this, just as a farewell?
I'll give you the best one that I've ever done, okay? I'm going to make sure that it's the absolute. Let's do this, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to say, if somebody doesn't like you for who you are, tell them to fuck off. Oh, the earphones fell off an earphone. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, I love it. That was so fun. Those are like those always make me laugh at the end of your videos. Those are great.
They actually came from, have you ever seen the movie called Are We There Yet?
I think I've seen parts of it. I don't know if I've seen the thing in its entirety. But it came from that?
The girl from that, she did a thing in it where she did or something like that. And I remember at school I used to do that. So it's something I've not just done in the videos, it's something I've always done. So yeah. That's why it's the signature thing. I wanted to just put it in the videos.
That's awesome. Well, Daniel, I thank you. I can't say thank you enough for being here today. You've shared some awesome insights with us and just some great topics in general. So I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. I appreciate the call, and such a positive person. It's good to see you. Can't wait to hear more of your other podcasts as well.
Awesome. Well, you take care and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you all for listening. And if you want to hear more Soul Source, subscribe to our show. We're available wherever you listen to podcasts. If there's something you want us to talk about on the show, we can do that too. We have a Facebook group. It's called the Soul Source Society, and it is where we interact with listeners, share special content only seen in that group, talk about shows, get ideas for future podcasts, and overall, we just have a lot of fun. That's Soul Source Society on Facebook. We hope to see you there. Soul Source is brought to you by Red Shoes Inc. It's a leading agency specializing in crisis and strategic communications, media relations, social media, and so much more. To learn more about Soul Source and Red Shoes, visit us at redshoesinc.com.